Did you know? Underwater is complex, visibility extremely low, like squinting at a party. Sharp rocks are like hidden ninjas, and sudden currents appear like scary dancers. So even experts with 30 years of experience had to be cautious, following the Thai Navy SEALs' meticulously laid path. The two of them crawled through the narrow rock tunnel like water frogs. It was like playing a real-life version of Stuck in a Tight. After nearly 4 hours, they finally unlocked the door to the T-junction 1,600 meters in. What a challenge. This was the farthest the Navy SEALs could explore. Moving forward meant no more guiding sounds. But with enough oxygen left, they were full of confidence. And then suddenly, unexpected water surge forced Rick and John to retreat temporarily. Near Chamber 3, they found a stranded pump technician, a pleasant surprise. The rapidly rising water had submerged his escape route. Loneliness, darkness, fear, and despair felt like they were closing. John generously lent his equipment, letting Rick take the technician out first. But for someone with no experience, that 100-meter underwater trek felt like a deep-sea adventure. Luckily, nearby workers helped this panicked technician evacuate safely. What a timely rescue. Rick quickly returned and joined John, who was waiting anxiously. As they surfaced, they were hit with a wave of well-meaning warnings. Can we get some shoulder protection, please? The reason is simple. We don't want outsiders taking risks. If something goes wrong, the media pressure will be overwhelming. With the rain continuing for 7 days, families are feeling desperate. They had lost hope for their children's survival, only wishing rescuers could at least bring back their bodies. In an impromptu meeting room, they put forth 2 questions to several officials. What's the difference in breathing techniques and special maneuvers? In the end, they decided to wait for the rain to stop before making any plans. After 2 days of waiting, the moment everyone had been waiting for finally came. The rain had stopped. Alongside the rain stopping came a monk from Cuba, invited to the cave for his supernatural skills, as locals believed. He predicted the 13 boys are safe and will be seen in a day or 2. Meanwhile, outside the cave, they discussed sending in experts John and Rick to investigate. After all, their cave diving skills were top-notch, second to none. On day 10, fully geared, they jumped into the cave without a second thought. After 3 hours and 50 minutes, they finally reached the T-junction again, swapping in a new rope to avoid getting lost on the way back. What a relief. This time, the goal was to search for the most likely safe spot for the kids, Bolly Beach. But all they heard was the rushing water. Hope was dim, but their determination remained. The two kept weaving through the narrow tunnels, relying on faint light to guide their way. Just as the rope ring was about to run out, they successfully made it through the tunnel to Chamber 9, when Rick suddenly caught a whiff of a pungent odor. Following the trail of the smell, he and John frantically searched until they finally found a glimmer of hope on the shore. Though small, it shone brightly, and Rick could hardly believe his eyes. The missing 13 boys stood before him, safe and sound. All this thanks to their coach, who taught them to meditate against hunger and encourage each other to stay strong for survival. The arrival of their saviors was like a thunderbolt of hope, but due to a lack of manpower, the kids still couldn't be rescued. It was a real nail-biter. The only thing they could do was hand the kids 2 new flashlights and hurry back from Chamber 9, 2,500 meters from the entrance. After 16 hours and 12 minutes, they finally made it back to base, but as they passed along the footage, Rick warned the SEAL team not to spread the word that the kids were still alive just yet. However, it wasn't long before the staff inside the cave saw footage of the kids safe and sound, and soon families and the media outside got wind of it too. The scene was nothing short of an exhilarating miracle and uplifting news. But in contrast, Rick and John felt the complete opposite. They knew in their hearts that rescuing the kids from a flooded cave was far more difficult than finding them, as if facing off against a water monster. They had never encountered a situation like this, and no one was as familiar with swimming as we are. No, sir, this is not swimming. The first time we took a boy swimming, he panicked completely and almost drowned. This isn't your ordinary swim. It felt like a life and death relay race, only able to bring back the bodies of the deceased. How tragic. The complex underwater terrain and children's limitations required meticulous planning for the rescue operation. However, immediate priority was to send supplies, since the seals had only reached the T-junction before Rick would have to explain the post-route conditions and precautions. He instructed the team on adjusting their posture to navigate narrow tunnels, avoiding dangerous pits, and most importantly, managing oxygen levels while Keep 2 oxygen after delivery, as return trip is more exhausting. Soon, the team donned gear and set off, spending 7.5 hours. They finally reached Chamber 9, 2,500 meters in, delivering essential food and batteries while a medic checked the kids. Luckily, the kids were fine except for hunger and fatigue, but the captain found they only had enough oxygen for one return. Clearly, they hadn't heeded Rick's earlier warnings. Even worse, oxygen levels in the cave had dropped below 20%. They were at risk of suffocation at any moment, while the trapped count had now risen from 13 to 15. One team member swam out, completely drained, as families anxiously awaited rescue. Though unsure, the deputy captain bravely promised calming the families. However, only those involved in the rescue could truly understand the difficulty behind that promise. Faced with the current situation, everyone was at a loss until Rick had a light bulb moment, coming up with a bold and crazy idea. On day 14, the British rescue team sent in 2 more cave experts to deliver survival supplies to the 15 trapped individuals, along with handwritten letters from their families. Reading the letters made the coach tear up. He thought the parents would blame him, but instead, they all expressed gratitude for caring for their kids. That evening, Rick's awaited Dr. Harry arrived, becoming the key figure in the rescue. Because not only was he a cave expert, but he also possessed unique skills that nobody else had. Harry quickly understood Rick's intentions to sedate the kids in the cave and then transport them out as if they were cargo.